Welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. I talk all the time about women being the worst enemies to themselves. And for women wanting to chase clout on social media, they're now making it impossible for basically any women anywhere to meet a man. And maybe that's by design. Maybe they're bitter, angry women that hate the world. But either way, men pay attention to this stuff, and they take notice, and they know what's going on, and they're not going to talk to women anymore. It's really going that far. There's a gym shaming video here that I'm going to play. Before I jump into that, let me bring this thumbnail up. Make sure to join me on betterbachelor.locals.com. I got 55,000 other community members. I wish they were all supporters. I would be a very successful man. But to give you an idea of the stats over there, we've got 54,000 posts by the community, many of them memes and having fun at stuff, news stories that you can't talk about on other social media sites because there's no censorship. You can talk about whatever you want over there. And there's 368,000 comments, so it's a very active community. All my videos that I post here on YouTube, Rumble, and are going to be over on Locals, but they're completely unedited in whole, and I can't get away with that anywhere else. So if you want to join the community over there, come on over today. You can become a supporter and support my work and keep everything ad-free. And that way, if YouTube decides to yeet me, I'll still be able to make a living doing this stuff. So we'll jump into the main story here. These are TikTok videos, and women are trying to gain clout by shaming guys at the gym for doing the barest minimum of anything. Because what is most important to young women today? Is it love of a family? No, it's social media validation. Is it having a large group of friends? No, social media validation. What about family? Nope. Job? Nope. Nothing is important as getting all the likes and the attention on social media. And that's what women are doing. And they're burning every bridge that women have, and men are tired of it. Now, at the end of this, I have an example of how men are getting revenge. So I'm going to play this video. Some of them I had to cut the audio out of because they were playing either gym music or they do this overlay of crappy music on TikTok. And I can't play it here because, of course, that would get me demonetized because of the music. But this is a video of a gal. She says, watch this guy move to me at the gym. Let me see if I can resize this so that this is just a little bit bigger for us. There we go. And watch what this guy does. He's just being nice.
Watch this guy try move to me at the gym. Checks absolutely.
Okay, she says checks absolutely nothing on his phone. And what did he do? He glanced down at his phone. Now, what did he probably end up doing on it? He probably checked what time it was or what song track was playing or whatever. But apparently she knows what he's doing on his phone.
Checks absolutely nothing on his phone. Looks over at me being busy sorting my wrist straps.
And this is the expression everybody's using is stitch incoming. I don't know what that means. I guess, I don't know, thirsty guy or something? I don't know.
These fucking straps taking up too much time. Makes a swift return.
Now, I boosted the audio on this so you could hear what he said. I actually edited the audio on the video so you could actually hear him.
Sad lip.
That's it. That's all he did. Excuse me, are you using this machine over there? Now, maybe he didn't know if you were getting ready to wrap up. Maybe he didn't know if maybe your gym bag was left over near it, and he didn't know if you were quote unquote claiming the machine, because sometimes people will do reps of, like deadlifts and full body workout, and then quickly go over and do some thigh extensions or some leg curls or whatever. Just that's all he did right there, and she feels that's enough to shame him on social media. This girl goes in and just does a handstand, excuse me, and then she says, "Watch this guy get angry when I do a handstand." Now I cut the audio because of that cringe music. Okay, number one, he didn't frown. That is his face. He's just got the Spock eyebrow thing going on. And if somebody walks in and does a handstand and then is doing a handstand for like 20 seconds, it's kind of impressive. Also, why are you doing a handstand, just chilling, doing a handstand in the gym? Maybe he's wondering that. But I'll play this past. Watch his eyes. So he looks over. He's like, huh, okay. And then he goes back to doing his workout. And as he's working out, she's still holding the handstand, which is impressive. He just happens to glance over. It's pretty impressive. Then he stops and he glances one more time. That's it. That's what he's getting called out for. You'll notice there was a little, when I was editing this, I didn't edit all the way out, and a flash of a guy named Joey Swole pops up. I'll talk about him in a minute. This is the one that went viral a few days ago. And she says, this is how to not approach girls at the gym.
This is how to not approach girls at the gym.
I hate this. I hate when there's sweet eyes.
Now, she's talking about the guy that's right here in the green, just so you know. So he glances over for a second and a second again.
Feral, like fucking feral. The 5 adds 5 pounds.
And she says, this is what women mean by staring at them like a piece of meat. All he's doing is kind of chilling, maybe resting between sets or whatever, or maybe he's deciding what else to do, or who knows. But all he did is glance up. Now, why could he possibly be glancing at this girl who's fiddling around and fucking around with weights for who knows how long, with a camera set up pointed at herself and him, and talking to herself on a fucking microphone? Would that not maybe make you curious as to what's going on? And so after seeing her screw around with his barbell and these weights for who knows how long, he decides to come over and maybe offer help. And it says, why is he walking over? And she says he goes to grab a cleaning wipe. I hesitate to grab my weight because him standing directly in front of me, making me extremely uncomfortable.
Excuse me? You don't have to do that. It's okay. No, it's okay. I got it. Thank you, though.
And all he did is he said, you want help putting this on? Now, listen, I've been at a gym many times, okay? I've seen guys, especially when I was doing CrossFit, right? You've got guys that are putting 50-pound weights on the end of a barbell, right? And it might already have a couple of 50-pound weights on it. And when you're getting really tired near the end of your workout, and you might be struggling to lift that bar up with one arm so you can grab another 50-pound weight and slide it on there. Even big guys at the gym struggle with that sometimes, especially if they're nearing the end of their workout. But him just being, and here's the thing, maybe he was coming over to check her out. Maybe he was coming over to just, I don't know, scope her out a little bit, because that's what human beings do when they're attracted to each other. Maybe he was doing that, or maybe he was just being nice. And here's what the text says on the screen. It says, what if I just ripped his pee-pee out of his socket so he could never reproduce again? She says, this is why I don't want kids. Natural selection would be better if we take the weirdos out. And then she says he's going to jail for staring at an underage 21-year-old. Now, last I knew, 21-year-olds were not underage.
See what I mean? All right, here we go.
And then she continues on with her workout. So what's this resulting in? This has been going, there's a guy here named Joey Swole, who I actually follow on Twitter. I'll talk about him in a second. But he calls out a lot of these videos. This is actually where I found some of these. So if you want to see any more of them, you can go check out Joey Swole. I am at Bachelor Joker if you're on Twitter and want to see all the memes and crap I post all day long. News stuff, just things I find interesting. And many times I'll like videos like this so that I can go to my liked page. You know, I might be on my phone doing something and just checking Twitter. And if I see something, I'm like, oh, I want to talk about that later, I'll like it. And you can go to my page and see what I've liked. And then you get an idea of the crap that I look at all day. So what's going to happen? Again, men stopped asking girls out when they started shaming them on social media. You know, a guy sends maybe an awkward message. He's a little uncomfortable. Maybe he's not very popular with the girls. And he sends something that's a little awkward. And then women started shaming men online. And then women are like, why don't men message? Why do men ghost me? Why do men not ask me out anymore? Already, and I'm not saying that this is a direct effect of the previous 4 videos, but what's going to happen is that men are just going to completely ignore women. I'm going to play this video here. It's only about a minute long. But here's a girl and I took the audio out of this because the gym had background music that was copyrightable. So again, I have to remove all the music out of it. And here you can see she failed her last squat. Now she's doing back squats. There's nothing that's strapped to her. I haven't personally used the device she's using to grip here. I always grip back on the bar. But when you get in a problem like this, you just dump it off. You just lift it and dump it right off of you. Maybe she doesn't know that. Maybe that's an opportunity for a guy. But what's she doing now? She's stuck. And she's asking for help. And she's calling out. And she's like, excuse me, oh my goodness. She's calling out. And everybody's just ignoring her. And even another woman that's actually working out right here is ignoring her. Now, usually in these gyms, there's not going to be, when they do racks like this, usually it's 2 rows of it, or it's 1 long row. But she's calling out for help, and what's she getting? Nothing. And now she's just stuck. Now, eventually, the woman that's next to her, I think hears her, or it takes her earbuds out or whatever, and hears her calling, and she's like, do you think you can help me out over here? Yep. Now, is there a guy nearby that maybe saw her struggling? Maybe. Is there a guy that heard her calling out for help? Maybe. But this is what's going to happen. Guys are going to, and when I say men are getting their revenge is going to be, oh, you're hurt? I don't care. Oh, you're struggling? Tough shit. You need help with that, ma'am? Sorry. Call it, get another woman. Because anytime they see a phone or a camera or whatever set up like this girl had, they're going to start thinking, maybe she's just trying to capture me to embarrass me. I don't need to deal with this. I just want to work out. I had a couple articles. I decided not to bring them up because it just is more about my talking point, but they're easily found, where men are just ignoring women and they're not asking them out anymore. And there are other sets of TikTok videos where girls are going to the gym in these very skimpy outfits, very tiny outfits. And she's like, when I did my makeup and I go to the gym for 3 hours trying to work out, but also still look pretty to, meet men, and no man even looks at me. This is what's coming. And there's another article, and I didn't pull this one up either. I thought about talking about it on its own, but it's that at a certain percentage of infiltration, and I'm using that word purposefully, at a certain percentage of infiltration of jobs by women, men start leaving. And they use teachers as one example. And I forget the other example they used, but they did some sort of a study, and they found that once a certain percentage of employees become women, the men just leave. And it was something like 60 or 65%, where once an area gets so many women in there, the men become uncomfortable because, again, they're blamed for everything. They're called out for anything. For some reason, the women all think that the men should be doing the manual labor because they're stronger and they're men. Yet if a man said, well, why don't you clean that while I pick up those heavy boxes? You should clean that because, well, you're a woman and you can't lift those heavy boxes, but I can. So I'll do this heavy work. You do the light work. They get shamed for that. And men are just like, you know what? I don't want to be surrounded by women. I don't need this hassle. I don't want to deal with this. And they just start leaving. And then the only people that'll come in and actually take the job are women. So women take over the space completely. And what this will lead to eventually is Google and, all these tech jobs. It's already happening in game development, where women will come in and start taking over these spaces. And the men go, I just don't need this. And they leave. Now, where do the women not go into? Well, the actual hard physical labor jobs usually. So those will just be filled with men. And then when things start falling apart, like I've said many times before, and companies do layoffs and they get rid of HR and they get rid of all these other things, it'll mostly be the women that are getting laid off. Well, the lady that did this last video, the video which is this one here, the one where she was shaming the guy here, she got so much heat and pushback on Twitter, she realized she needed to apologize. Now, why is she apologizing? Is she apologizing for what she did? I don't think so. She's apologizing for being called out about it. Is this going to change the way she thinks? No. Is this going to change the way that she uploads her videos and everything? Yeah, I'm sure it is, because she doesn't want to get called out. Influencer. Let me just tell you right this. Influencer, you might as well say You might as well say, I don't know, person that models in front of the mirror, because they add nothing to society. As a matter of fact, I would go to say they add more problems to society. Influencer Jessica Fernandez admits to mistake after calling out feral man at the gym. She's feeling ripe with embarrassment. Twitch influencer Jessica Fernandez issued an apology Tuesday after she went viral for posting a video about a feral man at the gym who she claimed was staring at her like a piece of meat. Fernandez published the apology on Twit Longer, an extension of Twitter that allows users to post tweets longer than 140 characters, calling the video the most serious thing I have ever posted. First of all, I want to apologize since to the man at the gym where it all started. He didn't do anything wrong to me, and I blew our interaction out of proportion, wrote Fernandez. I know many people think that I'm only apologizing because I got called out for the video I posted, and this is half right. Exactly, it is half correct. The only reason she's actually posting this apology is because she got called out so many times by so many people. The video, which has been deleted, shows Fernandez lifting weights and complaining about a man standing behind her, which is way the hell over there, like 20 feet away, or 8 meters, 7 meters for those of you in the non-freedom units. She said, stupid effing piece of S behind me. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. When there are weirdos. That guy wasn't a weirdo. He's just and obviously he's not there just to lurk. The guy's got pretty big build. He's a gym goer. Fernandez then zooms in on the alleged quote-unquote creep who can be seen nearby and later offers help offers to help her attach a plate at the barbell she's using. The video also features several captions, including, which I read out during the video. Fellow fitness influencer Joey Swole says that she needs to do better. Again, I hate the word influencer. Women in gym harassing needs to stop. He says he does a video where he's just explaining that the man might have thought she needed help, was struggling with a weight. Plus, again, she's filming herself and talking to herself in a microphone. So he might think she's batshit crazy and was wondering what the hell's going on. And that's why he keeps glancing over. Like, oh, I wonder if she's doing an instruction video or what's going on. Like, that's natural. Look, when I'm walking down the street and I hear somebody that I don't see any earpieces in, and they're going, gotta call mom, groceries, orange juice. I'm like, is he talking to somebody or is he flipping out and is he crazy? And do I need to put a couple of extra few feet between me and this person? I'm looking at them when that's happening. That is not me staring or anything else. It's addressing a situation. Anyway, she writes this whole thing that nobody cares about. This is Joey Schwoll. I'll talk about him in a second. Let's see if they have anything else. She says she concedes that if she'd not been called out, she wouldn't have had a chance to learn from her mistake. So she needed to be called out about this. She says, after reading literally thousands of comments about me, the situation of the man in question, it truly opened my eyes to how damaging this could have been for him. She lied. And I put that in there because obviously she doesn't care. Men and women deal with different problems in the realm of opposite sex. And after looking through the lens of an innocent man put in a situation like that, it honestly made me feel sick to my stomach with guilt. No, it did not. She does not feel anything about this. She doesn't really care. This is just her making a statement so all the hate stops. That's what it is. This is Joey Swole. I follow him. He's got 400,000 followers. He does sports and fitness rec. And he does a lot of these videos. You can see other videos of like this. There's an old gentleman here working out, just practicing on lightly kicking a bag and hip flexibility. And this girl had called him out for him doing that. And this is a lot of what he does. And I think he's a good follow because this is where I found this content. So if you want to go, it's the Joey Swole, at the Joey Swole, if you want to check it out. But men are getting their revenge, and this will continue to happen. Men will leave workplaces. Yep, men will leave and it's not really fair necessarily, because if you belong to a TikTok or a Twitter or a Facebook or an Amazon and you're in these tech jobs, men are passionate about the tech. Men are passionate about programming and the languages, and not to say that women aren't, but they aren't in the same degree. Women like to work with usually social applications, men like to work with math, engineering, and items. That's why classrooms don't do very well for a lot of men, because sitting there and listening and writing things down and memorizing doesn't work for men nearly as well as it does work for women. They found many studies that men actually prefer to listen, do, and have a hands-on practical approach of actually trying to manipulate objects and work with things and figuring things out. That's how I am. I mean, I've built furniture and cabinets and everything else. I've never looked at a diagram. You just take measurements and figure it out. And if it doesn't work, fix this and try this. And it's a trial and error thing. Many men are like that. Well, as these companies and these businesses hire more and more women, their work becomes not quite as good, because just statistically there's more men to choose from in the technical fields. And as more women are hired, they're just not as technical as men. There's just not as many of them that are technical as men. But when you say it's got to be 50-50, you're going to get a lot of unqualified women in these roles. And the men that are there feel like, well, I have to do a lot more work than these people do, and they're getting the same salary that I am. Why am I busting my butt to cover the people that want to walk around taking videos of their napping chair and them getting mimosas? I'm going to leave. And then they'll go find a different vocation. The other thing that's happening is that men are finding that they're more comfortable working with other men because of stuff like this. Because you say the wrong joke or the wrong expression, or you say something bad about a girlfriend that, oh, you're really bummed out because she's starting to gain weight and you're not attracted to fat girls. And one of your coworkers hears that, and she's a bigger girl. So she decides to take it personally and go down to HR, and next thing you're brought in for fat shaming or some other crap. Guys are just done with this. Guys are done with it. And what does this mean? That means the hard times. You know, it means that the men that won't stand up and that won't push back against this stuff, and the male feminists, and they say, well, I'll just keep, I'll put up with this. This is okay. I don't mind. We'll let women control everything. That's how things come falling down right quick. And you're going to see that happen. So anyway, guys, you know, understand that as you feel that you're being pushed out of society, don't look at it that way. Look at it as they're pushing themselves out of society. You know, and granted, you may feel like you're on the outskirts and you don't feel like everything's cohesive and that things are kind of weird and that society hates men. It's not. It's just the crap online. It's just these weirdos that are looking for social validation and attention and all this other stuff. They're the ones that are really destroying things. And I'll tell you, in the early days of the internet, I said, my God, this means the end of arguments. It means the end of debate. The science and studies will be online from academia, and we can look at it. That was wrong. I mean, I can literally pull up an argument that's from the same company. I don't know if it was Vice or BuzzFeed News or one of these other crappy ones. Could have been ABC News. They're all alike anymore. Where it's like eating 3 eggs a day actually lowers cholesterol. And by the same company, 3 months later, why eating eggs could lead to high cholesterol or be bad for your heart. It's like you guys are arguing with yourselves at this point. That's what the internet's turned into. I think it's actually worse for society. I think women chasing after love and attention and clicks and likes and to become popular and all this other stuff, they will do anything for attention. It is more important than every other facet of their lives. Only later on do they find out it actually means nothing. But apparently they got to be called out on it for it to mean anything. Guys, if you're on YouTube, again, please join us over on betterbachelor.locals.com. Great community of people, huge community. We got lots of stuff going on. You can see all my videos in there in full. You don't have access to the podcast, and you don't have access to the forums as a member, but you can at least see my videos without any commercial interruptions, and you don't see any ads or anything like that. If you do decide to become a supporter today, it's like $4 a month, or $4 a month if you do the yearly. It's $5 a month if you don't. That is less than a cup of coffee, ad-free experience, great community, no censorship. All the topics that you wish you could find on Facebook and Twitter are over there, and we talk about them all day long.